There's this incredibly powerful technology you use every single day, probably every single hour, but you almost never actually see it. It's like this invisible engine running behind everything. Every photo you post, every dollar you spend, every single search you make. So what is it? Well, let's find out. Okay, so think about this for a second. You snap a picture, post it on Instagram, and boom. Instantly, your friends all over the world can see it. But how? How does an app like that keep track of, billions of photos and somehow find the exact ones to pop into your feed, just like that? Or, hey, how about this one? You go to buy a coffee, you just tap your card. In that single instant, your bank, which is juggling millions of other transactions at the exact same time, knows your balance, right down to the penny. How on earth does that even work? Well, these incredible things, these moments that pretty much define our digital lives, they're all powered by one single fundamental concept. And the answer is databases. All right, so that's the big word. But what exactly is a database? Let's start with the official kind of textbook definition first. And then I promise we'll break it down into something way, way simpler. Okay, so the key words to grab onto here are organized collection. This is super important. We're not just talking about a digital junk drawer where you just throw a bunch of files. No. This is a system that's been built from the ground up for one reason: to find, manage, and update information with crazy speed and efficiency. And really, that's the heart of it. If you forget all the techie jargon for a minute, just picture this. A database is basically a computer's super organized filing system. That's it. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, let's use a simple analogy. I want you to imagine that a database is kind of like a huge, massive digital library. And this comparison, honestly, it works surprisingly well. Think about it. In a library, what does it store? Books, right? That's its data. And how does it organize them? On shelves in different categories. Well, a database stores digital information, and it organizes that data in things called tables and columns. And you know how library has that old card catalog or a computer system to find a book? That's its search tool. A database has search functions that let you find the exact piece of information you need, like instantly. So in our library, every single book has these key pieces of info attached to it, right? You've got the title, the author, the category or genre. That's the book's data. And guess what? A database does the exact same thing, but for digital stuff. It could be keeping track of names, phone numbers, student records, product information from an online store. It doesn't matter what it is, it's all just data. And it's all neatly organized and just waiting to be found. And this right here, this is the secret sauce. This is what makes them so powerful. You don't find things fast by just randomly digging around. No way. The speed comes from the system. It's the organization itself that makes all the magic happen. Okay, enough with the analogies. Let's make this super concrete. Let's imagine we're running a school and we need a way to keep track of all our students. Now, for every single student, there are a few key things we've got to store, right? We need a unique student ID, their name, of course, their age, and what grade they're in. These are going to be our categories, so let's see what that looks like inside a database. And there it is. See how that works? Our categories, the student ID, name, age, and grade. Those become the columns. And then each student gets their very own row, which in database speak we call a record. It looks simple, right? But this simple structure is what makes it so dang powerful. Now the school can instantly find any student, maybe update their grade, or add a new person to the list. It's clean, it's simple, and it's just incredibly efficient. Okay, so a school database is a great little model. It's perfect, it's simple, but what happens when you take this basic idea and you scale it up, like way up, to handle millions or even billions of people? Well, let's take a look at the databases that are pretty much hiding in plain sight all around us. First up, banking. Think about it. Your bank's database needs to be absolutely 100% bulletproof. Every single transaction, every deposit, every withdrawal, it has to be perfectly recorded and tied to your account. There is literally zero room for error, and that kind of pressure requires a super structured, really rigid kind of database. Then you've got online shopping. A giant like Amazon? Oh man, that's a whole other level of complex. Their databases have to juggle everything all at once. Product inventory, customer shipping addresses, payment info, and even what you've been looking at so it can recommend new stuff. And it has to do all of that at the same time for millions and millions of shoppers. It's wild. And that brings us back to our very first question about Instagram. Yep, platforms like that use databases to store every single user profile, every photo, every comment. But here's the twist. Unlike a bank, they need to be really flexible. They have to handle all sorts of different things, photos, text, videos, and link them all together. This calls for a totally different, much more adaptable kind of database, all just to make sure your feed loads perfectly every single time. So we've talked about it being a digital library. But if we want to boil this down to its absolute simplest form, let's use one last analogy. Think of a database as the ultimate filing cabinet. And at its core, this is all it is. The columns tell you the type of information you're looking at, like product or price. And then each row is just one complete record for a single item, like that laptop or that mouse. So that's the basic structure, a filing cabinet. But now, imagine that filing cabinet could hold billions of files. The real superpower of a database is that it can search through all of them, all those billions of files, and pull out the exact one you need in the blink of an eye. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. A database really only does three simple things. First, it stores your data securely. Second, it organizes that data in a logical way. And third, it lets you access that data instantly. Store, organize, access. That's it. That is the whole secret. So, as you go through the rest of your day, maybe you're checking your email or streaming some music or even just buying that coffee, start to notice all those little moments that are powered by these invisible engines. Which leads me to one last question for you to think about. What part of your day today would have been completely, totally impossible without a database?